Matt AI Sports back in the building. Arsenal player ratings. As you know, I'm a big Arsenal fan. Always have been. I am so glad that this team is actually playing good because I might have a mental breakdown as a sports fan because I'm also a Hawks fan who are questionable like 90% of the time, and I'm a Falcons fan who are just borderline look like they're not even trying. Um, but Arsenal, I am so proud of this team. I think this is the season we win. I don't want to get too far ahead, but from what I've seen, I've never looked at a season and just kind of been like, well, to me, this is the best team. Like previous years where we didn't win, people scoffed at us for, failing at the end or kind of falling off at the end. I wasn't convinced those seasons that we were the best team. I thought we might have had the best record, but maybe not the best team. To me, this is the best team in the Premier League right now. Most consistent, best defensively. I think City are playing well, although I think City is basically Erling Haaland at this point. Let's go through the player ratings. Arsenal are 5 points clear. Go Arsenal. We'll do what we're here for. And this is a community now. So if you're an Arsenal fan or whatever, just watching the game, EPL fan, leave a comment. Let's talk about it. And I might use the word soccer instead of football. It's because I'm in America, okay? I don't know why people get super sensitive about that. But we in America call it soccer because American football is really popular here. I don't know how else to explain that. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but people get all up in their feelings. All right, so let's start with David Raya. And again, I'm only going to do Arsenal players. David Raya. So I think he to me is starting to look like a really good goalkeeper. He's not what you would think of like a top goalkeeper. When you think of a top goalkeeper, you probably think of Donnarumma, you probably think of a Neuer, through the years, maybe like an Oblak. I don't think he's really considered like that, but I think his play speaks for itself. I think the point of a goalkeeper is to not get scored on. And he's getting clean sheets. He leads the league in goals against, the least amount of goals against, 7 this season in 14 games. That almost seems like a misprint. They've only got scored on 7 in 14 games. I mean, that speaks for itself. And he's played in goal, I'm pretty sure, in every single one of those games. So he's starting to look like a really good goalkeeper to me. And again, one thing I know from playing and really understood this year as a player myself, and just like in general, I feel like a big misconception is like, what are the results? Because a lot of players look flashy, they look cool, they do this and that. They might have good ratings in FIFA, but what type of results are you putting in right now? And the type of results he's putting in right now are league leading. So I think he deserves all the credit for that. I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. And he's been the stalwart because the defenders have been getting hurt. They've been interchangeable. He's the only one that's been there protecting the goal. He's doing a great job. So overall, my rating for him, I honestly, I give him a 10 because this was a big game. We just tied the last game, which we probably should have won because we played down a man. And, it was kind of like a bounce back game that we needed a clean sheet for. I give him a 10 because he got a clean sheet. I mean, what else can you ask for from a goalkeeper? I gave him a 10. He's not my man of the match, but he's definitely, to me, that was a signature performance for him. He did make a great save off a header, stunning save, but overall, I just thought his play was really solid. Left back, we'll go Calafiori, who I think is clearly our best left back on the team. A big reason why Arsenal's defense is good, other than Raya and the others. I think his play has been really solid. He's been a really solid signing. And I think the reason Arsenal are the best team in the league right now is because we made a lot of good signings. I think almost all of our recent signings have been solid, with the exception of, in my opinion, Madueke. I'm not a big fan of his, but I think every other signing we had has been useful, highly useful, at like an Arsenal level. I think Calafiori, to me, plays at an Arsenal top club level, for sure. And, yeah. Okay. Hincapié, the Ecuadorian. I thought he played well. So Calafiori, I'll give him like an 8. Hincapié, again, I'm very generous with the ratings when we get clean sheets, which is the goal of a defensive line and goalkeeper. So I'll give Hincapié an 8. I thought he bounced back from the previous game, which I was very critical of him because I just don't understand how you get scored on 10 on 11 from a corner. That to me comes down to the defenders. But I thought he played well this game. He didn't get injured. He kind of like was the Iron Man for our defense when we needed him. At this point he's like guaranteed a starter. It seems like. So he came through and he had a solid game. Mosquera, I thought he played well as well. Got hurt at the end. I'm not going to deduct points for getting hurt, but I thought he did all right. I'd also give him an 8. And then Ben White. God, if he didn't get the assist, I probably would have given him like a 6. But because he got an assist, I'll give him a 7. Some of his crosses, he's so lackadaisical. It's kind of annoying to watch him. He reminds me of like a Pogba with attitude, where it's like he has the talent, but he's just so lackadaisical. I don't know, dude. I'm not a huge fan of that play style. It's like too relaxed and too chill. Like, dude, put some emphasis on these crosses, dude. Some of them would just look like lackluster to me. But I thought he played all right. Played the full game. I thought he did good defensively. I thought he was solid, so I'll give him a 7. He did get the assist. I'll give him a 7. Declan Rice, a great signing. A big reason why Arsenal are where they are right now. He's kind of like an Iron Man in the midfield. He's like the engine, hard worker, defends. I thought he looked kind of tired in the second half, but Declan kind of reminds me of how I play. I love to compare myself to these players, but he reminds me of how I play. Just hard, just relentless to the end, till the legs fall off. I love that about Declan. He's just relentless till the legs fall off. That's how he plays, and I respect him for that. I thought he played good. Like I said, I'd probably give him an 8. I thought he was solid. He did what I wanted him to do too, which was take some shots and try to score. That's the only thing. Sometimes I'm critical of midfielders nowadays. They just don't score enough. I remember when I grew up, and I'm sure some of you are as old as me. I grew up watching like Lampard and Gerrard and Iniesta, and these midfielders were getting really involved in the offense to the point where I think Lampard was like a top 5 scorer a couple years. Gerrard was scoring in big games. We all know what Iniesta can do. I think midfielders nowadays are just so like midfieldy. And kind of afraid to lose the ball sometimes. I don't know. Like that's my only gripe with today's midfielders. Let's move on to Zubamendi. Case in point, Zubamendi. I kind of feel like he offers nothing offensively, but he's very tidy on the ball in a position where he probably needs to be, which is like defensive mid. I almost forget he's playing sometimes. But that might be a good thing because I guess he doesn't make any mistakes, which a lot of times that's good enough. That's actually an underrated value for sure. Even though I just said, midfielders seem to be super afraid to make mistakes. Sometimes that can help, Zubamendi, because some midfielders are afraid to make mistakes but still make them. But Zubamendi doesn't make really many mistakes. I can't really think of one the entire game. I don't even think he lost the ball the whole game. I can't remember. I thought he played decent. So I'm gonna also give him an 8. I thought he played solid. Maybe 8's a bit generous, but I'll give him an 8. Odegaard. Now here's where I get critical. I just feel like when you're playing that kind of attacking midfielder type of position. Now I don't know if that was the exact position he was in, or if he was like more like a right midfielder, but I need to see Odegaard drive at defenders more, dude. He's too good at dribbling to just always be doing these dink and dunk passes. Like, you just don't like break down the defense doing that. And that's why I prefer Eze in that position, because Eze will at least dribble every now and again. I just know from playing, and I'm always like, man, I feel like a lot of analysts kind of forget what it's like to play And I feel like unless you play, I honestly feel this way. I feel like unless you play, you're really not at your sharpest on understanding the game. I know from playing, and I'm not to take away from any of the pros, of course. Obviously, they have tons of experience, yada, yada, but that's just my opinion. From having played, I just know, like, because I play midfield when I play. You got to go past some players, dude, in order to set up chances. Like, you got to go past a player. It's like simple math. If there's, say somebody's defending you, you go past that one player, then another player has to come to you, right? That's when you look for the pass, because now another player is open. And that's what you call playmaking. And I feel like that's what midfielders are supposed to do. Odegaard gets the ball, does a little twirl, nice little touch, and passes it. Like, I just feel like you don't break down the defense like that. And I don't know, like, I like his defensive effort and his overall work rate. Because I feel like if he didn't have those two factors, I would borderline think he's, like, shouldn't be on the team. I don't know, like, he doesn't score. He doesn't really assist. I'm just not all that sure. He's a solid player. I'm not going to complain. But I don't know. Like, I think he just needs to, like, figure out offense a little bit more. But, you know, I'm just being critical because it's player analysis. But I'll give him, like, a 7. Madueke, oh, God, dude. I'm just not a fan of Madueke. I just feel like if you're playing winger, which I feel like is the easiest position to play, if you're playing winger and you're playing Brentford, I need you to get like a goal or an assist, like at least. Otherwise, I feel like you're not a top level winger. I'm sorry, like it's like you're not in there to play defense. You're in there to create chances and score. He doesn't score. Does he create chances occasionally? I just think if I'm playing Brentford, keyword Brentford, like who, this is like a second, maybe third tier team. There's 6, 1, and 7 right now. In fact, actually, hold on. Let me see where they're at in the table. They're 13th in the table. All right, they have 6 wins, 1 tie, and 7 losses. So this is a team with a losing record. I just think if you're a winger, I'd be licking my lips going against this team. Like, if you're a great winger, I feel like you torch a team like this. Look how Saka played the 15 minutes he was on. He nearly scored twice. Madueke, he does little twirls and things. And I almost feel like he gets too much credit for his dribbling. I'm like, he's an average to maybe slightly above average dribbler. I don't see anything special. He's playing against, who was he playing against? He made freaking Henry. What was it? Rico Henry, dude. He made Rico Henry look like freaking prime Philip Lahm or something, dude. Or like Ashley Cole. Like, I don't. To me, I think you. I would get, I don't know, bro. I feel like he's on the team basically to give Saka a break at this point because, again, I'm being critical, but I'm not a huge fan. I don't think he, as a winger, I just don't think he's that effective. Marino, so Madueke, dude, I give him like a 4, dude. I just like I said, dude, if you're playing Brentford, again, I'm being kind of critical, but dude, you're playing Brentford at home. Like, dude, I need you to be scoring a goal or getting an assist. Like, otherwise, it's a bad game. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at Marino. Let's go somebody more positive. Mikel Marino's been the most, I think, underrated signing of the season. Granted, I think he was signed last season, but he has been big time for us the last two games. He scored and got a what's-a-face Caicedo sent off against Chelsea. This game, he scores again. Had us in the lead most of the game, scoring in the 11th minute. Didn't make it a nervy game for us. A little bit nervy, but, you know, he got the job done early, which I think is key. And he got an assist. I honestly, I give Marino a 9. I think without him, we probably lose this game. I mean, He's a midfielder and he actually plays offense. I mean, I think he's very underrated. He to me has what a lot of players lack nowadays, which I feel like is that consistent final touch. I only see it from a handful of players on this team. I think Eze kind of has that. Saka has that. Marino has that. Trossard has that. Everybody else, maybe Declan. Declan has moments. Everybody else, I feel like, is playing safe offense. Safe, inconsistent, like waiting for somebody else to score offense. I think Moreno takes it on himself to get goals and assists. I think that's the difference. He doesn't sit around twiddling his thumbs hoping someone else scores. He's going at him, and he's scoring goals. Big-time header, big-time assist to Saka. Played 2 positions during the game and got points in both positions. I think at this point, I'm okay with him starting going forward. Gyökeres, I like Gyökeres. I think he kind of brings a physical presence. I need him to step it up too, dude. I know Sweden didn't play well in the World Cup, dude. I need you to shake that off and get back in the game. I need you to be scoring 20, 25 goals this season. Like, that's what you were brought to this team to do. And then, so yeah, I give Moreno a 9. I think, to me, I think he was the man of the match. Again, underrated. People probably won't talk about him too much. But I think, again, without his contribution, him and Raya, to me, are probably the man of the match. But I'll give it to Moreno because a goal and an assist was what won us the game. And last, we have Martinelli at left wing, who I thought outplayed Madueke during certain periods. Martinelli, to me, if I were his coach, I would tell him to work on his dribbling all off season. I would hire a dribbling coach and just say, hey, look, you need to figure out what you do well offensively because there's a lot of Martinelli that I like. And he's not a player. Unlike Madueke, I hope we keep Martinelli because there's some things that I really like about his game. Madueke, whether he's on the team or not, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. I think, honestly, if Max Dowman played, we might have got the same result. But Martinelli, I think, I just think his work rate and his energy helps the team. He's been kind of out of form. I always say with him, he just needs to figure out what he can do well offensively. I think it started to click for Trossard. Trossard, for example, and wingers need to be scoring and assisting. But Trossard, for example, his finishing is good. And he just makes smart plays. He knows he's not athletic. To me, Trossard is a smart player. He knows what he is and he knows what he isn't. He's not going to out-athleticism you. He's not going to outpace you. But he will put himself in the right positions and finish chances and score goals. I feel like him not playing is a big absence. I love how Trossard stepped up his game because he kind of went from a bench player to like a real starter. Something that Chicharito could never quite figure out. Chicharito went from like a bench player to a bench player. A good bench player to a good bench player. Trossard went from a good bench player to a good starter. I think he's pivotal in that left wing position. I like the rotation of him and Martinelli, though. I'm okay with that. I think if we have those two playing, now Trossard's out now, but if we have Martinelli playing with Trossard, that's a good combo. That's enough to win leagues. That's enough to go places because Trossard can actually score, and Martinelli scores the off goal. I think Martinelli scores more than Madueke. I think even though I think Madueke gets more plaudits for his dribbling, which I'm tired of because I look, everybody can dribble left and right and up and down every now and again, right? Are you scoring goals or are you getting assists? Like, that's something I'm always looking at. That's why I think, what's-a-face? Lamine is very good because he gets a lot of assists and scores goals. It's not just the flair and the good touches. Neymar was the same way. It's not just the flair and the good touches. Ronaldinho, same way. Messi, obviously, same way. It's not just the flair and the touches. It's the putting the ball in the net, getting assists. And yeah, so that's my analysis of the game, guys. I think overall it was a solid performance. A little nervy for Brentford, but I'll take it 2-0. I mean, that's a good, it's a good result. I'll give it that. I'll give Arteta an A because I don't think he did anything wrong that game. He worked with what he had, and I think he made the best out of it. I'll talk about the subs. Saka came on. I dang near give him a 10 for his off the bench performance. Now, he doesn't win man of the match because he only played like 15 minutes, but that's how you play freaking winger, bro. You come in, you get goal against Brentford, bro. If you're playing freaking Brentford, dude, can you imagine Erling Haaland playing Brentford? Dude, he probably goes into this game thinking he's going to score like 2-3 goals. Like, now when he plays Madrid, he's probably like, But, dude, I guarantee you against a Brentford or something, a great winger or a great striker is licking his chops. Like, he's looking to up his stats. Saka is a great winger. He comes in the game, scores nearly twice, looked solid, looked really good. He looked like dangerous, He looked dangerous. So, and who else came on? Timber came on. He had important minutes. He came on late in the game. I would almost give him a 10 for his performance when he came on because it can be hard to come on mid-game. That is difficult to do sometimes, to kind of get in the flow of the game, especially in a position that he hasn't played all season, which is center back. I would give him close to a 10, just because, again, clean sheet, which is the point of defending. So I think he did great coming on. Had some good. He actually looked really good coming on, to be honest with you. I thought he was really solid. And then let's see, Gyökeres. He didn't really do much. He didn't really play much. So I mean, I'll just give him like a 7. I didn't really see much from him. Eze, another 7. Eze plays a little bit like me. I feel like I play like a mix between in real life. I always joke with myself because obviously these guys are better than me, but I play, I think, in real life like Eze, a little bit of Eze and a little bit of Declan Rice. I think my play style is a little bit like them. I'm relentless like Declan, and I feel like I dribble a little bit like Eze. So I love watching Eze. And if I got a shirt for Eze, or if I got a shirt, I would get like an Eze shirt. I like Eze's game. I don't think he played enough to really be super effective, but I like that. I like the fact that he dribbles and passes, almost like Saka. Like, he's smart with when and how he dribbles and passes. It's not, you don't have to go past 2-3 players. I keep saying, like, as a midfielder, it's simple. Dribble past one player and then look for the pass. It's like simple. Because like I said, once you go past the other player and the other player helps, that's when you really create chances. Odegaard doesn't do that. Now, Mikel Merino doesn't do that, but he at least looks for long passes. Odegaard, I feel like, sometimes plays too safe. But anyways, that's my analysis, guys. Let me know what you think. I always have fun giving Arsenal analysis and talking about Arsenal. Thanks for watching.